Raleigh Nash, we're ready for kickoff.
All right, Stevens will kick off for the Trojans. The Warriors of Caledonia have two men deep. Stevens booms one. He's going to hit that ball into the end zone. They'll leave it go. Back deep. Two people, number 20, Conway, number 40, Roar, and they just let the ball sail over their heads as they were perched on about the 10-yard line, and Stevens boomed it into the end zone for a touchback, and now the Caledonia Warriors will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Initial onset of this ballgame. Class B High School Championship at Austin, Caledonia, led by Otterson, the quarterback. Now they go into a pro set. Receivers wide on the right side. Here's a handoff. First man through, and he belted down. Got a couple yards, and then he was really creamed by Stevens. And Stevens gave number 25. And you have to understand, this is Schieber. Tim Schieber is 6 feet, 185-pounder. He's probably one of the bigger people that Caledonia have. And Stevens really moved him down after a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. For the Warriors, they run predominantly out of an I. Power I. Now they'll go into the I. Here's the handoff. Second man through. Number 20 has some yardage, rolls and dives, and he got very close to the first down. It is a first down. Good effort. That was number 20, Bob Conway, the other running back. 5'7", 150-pound junior. Has the first down, so in the first series of downs, the Indians on 2 plays get the first down, and they're shooting right up the pipe, as did Manoman last week. Here again is Otterson on the quick handoff. The ball given to Schieber, and he's belted again by Stevens. There's a loose football. However, it appears the play had been blown dead. Schieber, the ball carrier, got 3 yards, and then he was drilled again, once again by Stevens, coming out of his safety position, and he took 2 good shots at Schieber. 10:50 remaining first quarter, no score. We're just in the onset of this ball game. Now they'll shift out of the I into a pro set. Here's the call. The handoff. First man through. Schieber again gets a couple yards, and then he's belted down. They're using the power play. Straight shots right up the middle. And on the tackle, Catterlink. And the ball now rests over the 35. The ball on the 36-yard line of Caledonia, where they have it now. 2nd down. Gain on the play of a couple yards. Here's Otterson, the quarterback. And now he fakes. He fires one out. He has a man out here. It's intercepted. Marvin Deitch intercepts the football for New Prague. Good field position down in the Caledonia 44-yard line. Ball intended for number 83, Dave Johnson. He's a big boy, 6'4", not too heavy, weighs 170 pounds. However, Marvin Deitch was right there. Actually, Otterson had Johnson out there all alone, and he softened the pass up just a little bit too much, and Deitch was able to pick it off. Good interception by Deitch. So now the Trojans, good field position, have it. 1st and 10 out of the wishbone. Schinicker wide to the left. Scott Prochek is the quarterback. Here's the call. The handoff given to Stevens over the right side. Has some running room. Goes to the outside. Still on his feet. Still going. And now he's drilled down. Stevens got over the 35 down to the 33. Good enough for the first down. So on the first play from the line of scrimmage, the shot off the defensive left tackle spot, and then he slid to the outside. It appeared from here for a while he might break it and go all the way, but one of the outside linebackers got a hold of his jersey and knocked him down. So the Trojans have a first down. Come out again, once again, in the wishbone with Schinicker wide to the left. Steinhoff tight in tight on the right side. The handoff again to Stevens. Same play. Busts through. Has good running room again. Goes over the 30 down about on the 28-yard line. Thereabouts. Trying to pick up some of the numbers defensively for you. And on the tackle, number 62, check that 63, Tim Gert. He's 5'11", 150-pounder. Now you have to understand, Caledonia has an awful lot of people listed around the 150-pound class. They are not very big. They're fairly rangy, but they're not real heavy. Now Schinicker, wide to the right. Again, the wishbone. Gain on the play, 9, 2nd and 1. Give the handoff. Quick shot up the middle, given to Crea. I believe he has the first down. It is good enough for the first down. There to make that stop, number 43 for Caledonia, Greg Kramer. Kramer, 5'11", he's a 180-pounder. The Trojans staying on the ground, moving the ball well here. First chance they have the football. 8:50 remain in the first quarter. We're at Austin. Excellent field condition. The field marked very well. The stands will house, I'm not certain, I would say 3,000 to 5,000. They're filled up fairly well on the other side. These represent the Trojan Rooters below it. We're enclosed here in the press box. The Caledonia Warrior Rooters, and it appeared as when we came into the press box that there was a fine crowd here representing them. 1st and 10 now for the Trojans. Here's the call by Proshik. The handoff, a little mixed up, given to Conley, bucks his way, hit his own man, then got a couple yards there to make the stop. 63 Guts. I believe that's Guts, G-U-T-H, is the spelling on it. So Conley got a couple grudging yards, and we're trying to watch the scoreboard. However, they're having a little problems right now. Clock is running. Just over 8 minutes remain in the quarter. Shinniker now out of the huddle, wide to the left. The wishbone with Proshik. Scott Proshik, veteran quarterback, who did a sensational job in that big rally to beat Mahnomen. Here's a good run by Stevens as he got over the 25, down to the 23, and they're picking that hole at the defensive left side of the line. Stevens on the same shot, an off-tackle play where he just slides to the outside when he hits the line of scrimmage, and he's finding some room. They're defending 73 for, check that, 72, Tim Hoshite. He's 6 feet, 180 pounds of the ball now inside the 20 on the 17-yard line, where it is 2nd down for New Prague. Here's a call by Proshik. On the option, he keeps the ball, cuts in, rolls, got over the 15, down to about the 13-yard line. Proshik on the keep, on the option. Takes the ball inside the 15 on the 14. And now I'm not, Don, I'm not getting any results at all out of that scoreboard. And the chain is out in front of us, and I have a window separation between these, so it is 4th down, I believe, right? 4th down. And here's the handoff given to Stevens, cuts to the outside, still on his feet, goes to the 10-yard line. And he has the 1st down, I'm sure, as he needed to go to about the 11. And I'm just going to have to watch the chain gang now, as the scoreboard so far has not been updated with the ball game at all. So now the markers are resting where it appears that the Trojans will have to go in the end zone to get a 1st down. They are 1st and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Shinniker, wide to the right. Out of the wishbone, Proshik called the signal. The handoff, 2nd man through. Stevens cuts to the outside, still on his feet, dives, goes down over the 5 to the 3 and maybe the 2-yard line. Stevens and the quick burst, and they're really peppering the left side of the defensive line. And Stevens finding a good hole over there as the forward wall opening that hole up very large. Ball down, and it would appear from here to be on the 3-yard line, where it'll be 2nd now and goal from the 3 for New Prague. Knocking on the door. Middle of the 1st quarter. There is no score yet. Proshik has him. The handoff again to Stevens. Same play, and he goes over for a touchdown. Went in standing up, so Stevens, after about 6 shots to that left side, goes sailing into the end zone, and the Trojans are on the scoreboard. 5:59 remaining, 1st quarter. New Prague has taken first blood here at Austin in the Class B championship football game. And now Todd Proshik is in to attempt the point after. Ron Shinniker will hold. Katerlich over center, done a fine job the entire last 2 years for New Prague. Here is the snap. Good snap. Places down. The kick is up. It is no good. And Proshik pulled the ball a little bit, so the point after is not good. We have a timeout on the field with the score: New Prague 6 and Caledonia nothing. We'll pause for this timeout.
Say it's late evening or on a weekend and you need some groceries. Company's coming in, you need some refreshments or snacks. Well, any time of the day is a good time to shop at the Dairy Bar in New Prague, but especially evenings or weekends. You know, they've got some of the finest ice cream around at the Dairy Bar right across from St. Wenceslas on Main Street, the Dairy Bar. Say there are sensational savings, and for Thanksgiving, you can cook up a storm from Bonzak TV and appliance with a 40-inch Frigidaire range, a double oven cleanable large oven is electric clean. Panels can be pulled out of that small oven, cleaned in the large oven. It's just $599.95 less trade at Bonzark TV and Appliance. Headquarters for Zenith, Admiral, Sylvania, KitchenAid, Amana, Speed Queen, Gibson. Complete sales and service at Bonzark TV and Appliance in New Prague.
Back to the action now. Stevens will kick off, and he's approaching the ball. Here's his kick. Another good end-over-end kick is going to be picked off by Conway at the 5-yard line. Straight up the field, 10, 15, 20, and then he's belted once, still on his feet. Conley rolling, still goes. Good effort by Conley as he takes it over the 35 down to the 37-yard line. Conway gyrating his body, and he was drilled at about the 25-yard line. It appeared as though he would get jolted down, and he got away. Good effort. Caledonia, good field position. Here, 1st and 10. The ball on their own 37. Otterson is a quarterback. They'll again run out of the power I. Here's the call by Otterson. The handoff given to Rohr, and he goes to the right side or the left side of his offensive line. Got very little yardage. Katerlik was the first man to get a hand on him. Also in there, Brian Wahlberg for New Prague. Pick up on the play, 1 yard, 2nd down and 9 now for Caledonia. Caledonia victoriously over New Ulm Cathedral last week, 22-14, and that's why they're here this evening. Again, Otterson, the quarterback, called the signal. Handoff, second man through. Conway finds some running room, goes for good yardage over the 45 to the very close to a first down. In fact, they're going to call the officials timeout now. And they will bring in the chain, I believe. It appears from here as though he does have the first down. The officials for tonight's game, Chuck Hansen is the referee. Howie Stray is the umpire. Oscar Hedorf, the head lineman. And Bill Rich is the field judge. It is a first down for Caledonia, so now they have moved the ball very well. The pass interception was the thing that killed them on the first series of downs, as they moved the ball real well. And now they're starting to do the same thing once again. Out of the huddle, Otterson, Dave Otterson, 6'1", 170. He's a senior. He leads the pack. Here's the call. First man through and a quick shot, and he goes for 3 or 4 yards. Straight up the middle on the quick opener. And on the tackle, Lucas for New Prague. Also Katerlik there. Gain on the play, 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 for Caledonia. We're at Austin. Excellent evening. The temperature in the low 20s. Very little wind. Field in excellent condition. Here's the call by Otterson. He rolls. Now the handoff given to number 20, Conway, and he belts his way for a couple yards as he rolled. Went to the right side. There to stop him. Conley, Proshek underneath the heap. Deitch. Gain on the play, another 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for Caledonia. The Warriors, they are attired in black and gold. Gold trousers, black jerseys with gold helmets and gold numerals. The Trojans in their red and white uniforms. Here's a call by Otterson. First man through. Good open hole, and he goes for the first down. That was Conway once again on the quick shot up the middle. And check that, Schieber was the ball carrier. Number 25, Schieber. Took the ball down over the 40, just inside the 40-yard line of New Prague, where we'll mark at the 40, 1st and 10 Warriors. And they're moving the football very well here as we have 3:40 remaining, first quarter. The Trojans of New Prague here leading 6-0. Again out of the power I. The handoff, first man through, given to Rohr, and he belts his way down to the 35-yard line. It's very noticeable now that Caledonia moves off the ball very well, as they like to use quick opening plays, and they move very quickly. They seem to get, when they get hit, they go down. I don't know if you call it easy, but they go down when they're hit. Of course, the Trojans have been known to be a bruising ball club. Again, Otterson brings them out. They'll go into the power I. Here's the call. The handoff again. Quick opener this time. It didn't happen as the Trojans close the hole. The ball given to Schieber underneath the heap. Jeff Jurek for the Trojans. Very little yardage on that play. It'll bring up 3rd down, 5 yards for Caledonia. Big play here for the Warriors. Warriors were beaten only once by Minnesota school. Spring Valley beat them early in the season 20-0, and then they were beaten by a couple of Wisconsin schools. Here's the call by Anderson. The same shot up the pipe again, given to Conway. That is Schieber. Check that off. Conway number 20, Schieber 25. And the numbers I'm mixing up right now. And he is very close to a first down. He's short by just a little bit. He's short by about a half a yard. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes remaining. First quarter. Big play, Caledonia out of the eye. They'll shift now. Here's the call by Anderson and a handoff, and there's a flag on the play. The ball was given to Schieber, and he appeared to have it from here. It appears as though the Warriors might have got off the ball a little quickly as the flag was thrown, and this could be costly to Caledonia. It is a motion penalty. It's going to cost them 5 yards to get the down over, but now they have almost 6 yards to make up. So now fourth down for the Warriors of Caledonia. The Trojans lead 6-0. The seconds ticking away here in the first quarter. Fine crowd represented here by the Trojan rooters. Here's the call by Anderson. The handoff. Giving a second man through. Conway spins, dives his way, and he's very close. Good effort, Conway. He is a... Oh, there's a fumble, and the Trojans have it. Conway did a good job, and he got very close to the 35-yard line, which is a 30-yard line, I should say, is what he needed. And then he lost the football, and the Trojans take over. So now the heirs of Caledonia here in the first quarter have cost them possibly a scoring threat. And on 2 successive errors, the Trojans have taken over the football, and they have it now. They maintain the wishbone out of the eye. Here's Proshik on the call. Giving to Conley over the left side. Belts his way, got a couple yards. And on the tackle for Caledonia, 63, that's Gut. Also there, number 33, and that is Ogdahl, Phil Ogdahl. He's 5'11", 160. Gut is 5'11", and 150. Ogdahl is a sophomore, and Gut a junior. Pick up at the play of a couple yards. Second down and 8 for the Trojans. Shinniker wide to the left. Here's the call on the pitch out. A ball intended for Stevens, and he falls on it. He'll find it. Proshik faked his fullback and then pitched the ball out, and Stevens delaying a little while there, and the ball just hit the ground. Stevens fortunate enough to pick it up, and the Trojans did not lose it. A little bit of a mix-up in the backfield by New Prague, and the clock now showing 27 seconds left in the quarter. Trojans should get another playoff before the end of this quarter. They come out of the huddle. Shinniker wide to the right. Steinhoff tight in tight on the left side. Here's a call by Proshik. He drops straight back. He has time. He fires one out here. Intended for Stevens. He has him out there. He has the ball at a 45. Over the 50. And then he belted out of bounds, and there's a flag. And Stevens was belted out of bounds close to the Caledonia bench, and he's down on his better part of his behind. And the flag was thrown just after he got over the 50-yard line. The indication would appear to be against Caledonia, and I would just have to wait and see. Good catch by Stevens.
It's clipping against New Prague.
Well, it is clipping penalty against New Prague, and I don't know who was there to cause the clip. I missed the Trojan that was over there to do it. It appeared to be all Caledonia out in that area, but it is a clipping penalty against New Prague. The reception good, and the walk-off against New Prague back into their own territory at the 37, right around the 37, back at the 38-yard line, where it'll be a first down. Check that, third down, as the penalty takes them back and nullifies the first down. That was a shame because Stevens got just about all he could get no matter what happened. He caught the pass, and then there were a lot of Warriors around him. So third down and a long 3 for New Prague with 2 seconds remaining now in the quarter. Here's a call by Proshik. The handoff given to Stevens. Cuts to the outside, belts his way, and it appears from here as he'll be about a foot short. All depends where they mark the football. There's the end of the quarter, and we'll just have to wait and see. The ball appears to be about 4 inches short, just watching the chain gang on the side. And before the clock has run out, and now they'll just go out and measure it to see whether or not Stevens did get the necessary yardage. It'll be very close. And now you're going to talk about inches, and we just have to wait and see. I'm just waiting. The linesman.
Well, apparently they didn't make it because they're going to end the quarter.
He's holding the ball and he's holding the chain, and there's the end of the quarter. At the end of the first quarter at Austin, and the score, the Trojans 6 and Caledonia nothing. We'll pause for this message.
Livestock are the family pet. You know, everyone that owns an animal needs advice about the proper feeding program. Hennes Feed Mill, your Purina dealer, has about as much experience as anyone around. Dairymen who want more production, hog and cattlemen who want faster, more productive gains, rely on Purina and Hennes Feed Mill. Even old Rover will do better with Purina, offering on-the-farm custom grinding and mixing too. Hennes Feed Mill in New Prague.
All right, we're ready to go. It's just a matter of, it's a smidget. If you know what that means, that's like an inch. And the Trojans are going to give it a shot. Here's Proshik on the keep, and he has it. Proshik needed about 2 inches, got the job done, and that's about all he got.
Here's a reminder from Malastrana Nursing Home. The American Legion Post 45 and its auxiliary of New Prague will have a membership rally at their regular meeting Tuesday, November 19th, 8 p.m. at the club room at the Park Ballroom. All area veterans are encouraged to attend. A community service announcement from the staff and residents at Malastrana Nursing Home in New Prague.
Here the Trojans out of the huddle. Schinicker wide to the left out of the wishbone. Here's the call by Proshik. Handoff, second man through, and a ball. Stevens still rolling on his feet yet, and he was almost down. He's still going. He has daylight ahead of him now. He'll go to the outside, being shagged at the 5, and he's very close to a touchdown. Stevens appeared to be hit at the 40-yard line, and I thought he was down. However, maintained his balance, got loose, got a little bit of interference up ahead of him. Conley was there, and then he cut to the outside, and he was finally knocked out of bounds. They're going to mark it at the 4-yard line. Terrific. In fact, just outstanding move by Stevens. And he has the Trojans knocking on Caledonia's door once again.
Well, he was hit twice, Raleigh. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage. He got away. Then he was hit again at the 45-yard line, and that was a beautiful piece of running and evading those tackles by Harold Stevens. An outstanding job.
Here are the Trojans now. They'll break out of the wishbone with Conley slotted to the left, Schinicker wide on the left side. Deuce backfield, Korea and Stevens. Here's the call. The handoff given to Stevens. Goes over to the right side, and then he runs into trouble. Got about a yard. Number 40 came in there, roared to bump him, and then a host to the Caledonia Warriors finish him off. There to make the tackle, 62. And I do not have his number. 62 not listed in the program. And 43 there, Kramer, also to help out. But 62 is not listed, and we just don't know who he is. We'll try to find that out for you at halftime. Again, same formation, slot to the left. Pro set in the backfield, Schinicker wide on the left side. Here's the call. The pitch goes to Stevens on the other side. Dives, and very close. The signal is a touchdown. Stevens has it. So Stevens gets touchdown number 2 for New Prague. As on the quick pitch, he ran out of the pro set and had a little bit of sticky going, but his momentum carried him in, and he got over the goal line. So it is a touchdown for New Prague with 10:52 on the clock here in the second quarter. The Trojans now lead 12-0, and again, Todd Proshik will attempt the point after. He might have hurried his kick a little bit the last time. He seemed to draw it. He did that a couple ball games, and then after he seemed to get his timing down, he blew it right through there. Here's his kick. It is up, and this time he blew it right through the middle. So Toddy Proshik gets the job done, and there is a timeout on the field. With the score, New Prague 13 and Caledonia nothing. We'll pause for this message.
Well, all right. You know, they've got some good movies coming up at the Prague Theater in New Prague. Here's a boisterously funny old-time farce that I've seen the previews of. Barbra Streisand at her best in For Pete's Sake. It ends Thursday, or it begins Friday, rather. Friday and Saturday only, tonight and tomorrow only, at the Prague Theater. Coming up Saturday and Sunday, a matinee, The Magic Christmas Tree. You want to take the kids to that one, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And then starting Sunday, and I've seen the previews of this one. This is a good one. It's Camper John, and if you like Billy Jack, you'll love Camper John. Showtimes nightly, 7:15 and 9:15 at the Prague Theater in New Prague. Get together after work in a friendly atmosphere, and don't forget that Ike's Bar, they have a cribbage tournament coming up Saturday tomorrow at 2:30. Four-handed cribbage played, partners drawn, entry fee $2, all money paid out in prizes. Ike's Bar in New Prague is the place. And here's the kick by Stevens, and here's Rollie Nash.
The kick by Stevens. Conway tried to field it, and then he lost it, and I believe the Trojans have it. The Trojans do, as Conley checked that. Conway made a fatal mistake of being a little lackadaisical. It was an in kick by Stevens, however, very short. He hit down on approximately the 28-yard line, took a bounce over Conway's head, and then he just a little reluctant to go back and get it. And of course, the Trojans were going to go down and get it if he didn't. You know, that ball's fair game if it doesn't get in the end zone. And then it appeared from here as though Conway realized that. However, the Trojans beat him to it. Did anybody pick up that fumble? The name? Bill Kerr, statistician, believes Marvin Deitch responsible for that. Now the Trojans break out again with the man in motion. And flags all over the place. The ball given to, I believe, Conley. And Caledonia, by virtue of the man in motion, and this play, the Trojans did not use until the last couple of regular season games that I can remember. And when the Trojans started using the man in motion play, they were very guilty of movement somewhere. Either the man was going forward instead of lateral, and now they seem to have got that down to good execution. And the last couple times they ran it, in fact, last week up at Painesville against Mahnomen, they picked up a couple penalties by virtue of the other team moving on account of this play. So it's been working very well for them. Out of the pro set, Conley in the slot on the left side. Here's the call given to Stevens. Go to the right side. Now the flag on his feet. Dives. Goes very close to the 5-yard line. Probably about the 7. A holding penalty. Trojans guilty of holding. Costly penalty. As very fortunate to pick up that kickoff fumble. If you would have it that, it appeared as though that wasn't even a fumble, that Conway just didn't get to the ball. But now, 15-yarder being tacked on to the Trojans brings the ball all the way back to the 27-yard line, where now the Trojans will have it. Ball is resting on the 27, where the Trojans have it. First down. Out of the wishbone. Shinniker wide to the left. And there's a loose football. Proshik finds it. And there, again, something that I don't understand. Proshik and Kriya are not getting together. They had a lot of problems last week in execution. And where the problem is, I don't know. The only thing I do know is either Kriya is supposed to get the ball and he's not getting it, or Proshik is supposed to keep it and he's losing it, one or the other, because the ball again was up for fair game, and Proshik very fortunate to fall on it. Second down now, long yardage for New Prague. Shinniker wide to the right, straight back. Proshik has time, looks for the end zone, fires a long pass down here, intended for Steinhoff. He's there, he has a touchdown! It is a touchdown, beautiful! Proshik threw that right in Steinhoff's lap, and he picked it off in the end zone. Steinhoff from his tight end position does a long down and across pattern. He heads for a post pattern and just keeps going. Goes into the end zone. His defender was there, but Steinhoff got behind him, and Proshik threw it right in his hands. Good throw. Proshik, good catch. Steinhoff, touchdown, New Prague. 19-0 now as Todd Proshik will come in to attempt again for the point after. Here's the snap by Katerlik. Good snap. The kick is up. It is good, but there's a flag. Just have to wait and see what the infraction is. They're talking now, and it would appear from here it has to be against New Prague. Otherwise, I would think that and I'll have to have that explained to me also. It is against Caledonia, evidently, and the ball just moved forward, and we'll have to kick it again. I don't quite understand that. So the Trojans So whatever the situation there, the Trojans will try it again as Proshik knocked that one through, but he'll have to do it all over. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is good, and he drilled that one through there. So we have another timeout on the field with 9:05 remaining here in the first half at Austin State Class B Championship game. The Trojans 20, Caledonia nothing. We'll pause for this message.
You get all three: safety, economy, and convenience with a checking account at the First National Bank of New Prague. Your checking account offers you convenience. You can mail bills from your home. And you get a lot of safety, too, because there's no chance of losing cash. And economy, well, you know where your money is spent. Open your account now. And good luck to the Trojans from the First National Bank of New Prague. At Remy's Drug, they have the complete Jovan Musk Oil experience for men. Now you can have this powerful all-male scent any way you want it. In Musk Oil aftershave and cologne, in oil shaving cream, in cologne spray, and the no-holds bar. Musk Oil for Men by Jovan. Available now at Remy's Drug at 106 East Main Street in New Prague. You want to say hi to Ted?
Intended for Conway, he just let that go, and that was a line drive shot that went down to the 5-yard line, and Stevens really put his leg into that. That was not the typical end over end shot he generally sends down there. This was a line drive, sort of a side spin to it, and it went down to the 5 into the end zone, where the Warriors of Caledonia now will have it. 1st and 10 on their own 20. The ball resting on the 20-yard line at the south end of the field. The field runs north and south. Field in excellent condition, well marked, well lighted, beautiful facility. Now they switch out of the power I. Here's Otterson, fakes to the second man through, and he's drilled in there to make the tackle for New Prague, number 60, and that's Lucas. And he didn't allow him to go anywhere. Also there, Wahlberg. That play got absolutely nothing. In fact, they lost about a half a yard. So second down, 10 and then some for Caledonia. Now the Trojans are showing their overall strength, and it's getting to be indicative of how this game is going. And I believe, unless I could be very sadly mistaken, that they will start to dominate this ever more because they are much bigger and much stronger. Here's Otterson to pass, has a man out here all alone, and he's going to take it. Proshik falls down, and then the receiver falls down. That's 83, and that's Dave Johnson. And now that I made that statement, I'll probably have to eat crow from here on in. And Otterson just faded back and let it go, and Proshik fell down at about the time Johnson picked the ball up. However, he was pretty well in the open, so the Warriors have a big first down, and now they're very close to midfield. They're at the 48, where it is 1st and 10 Caledonia. Again out of the power I. And on the option, back is Otterson. He looks, fires over the middle, has a man there, and he hangs out of the football. That was Rohr. On a play-action pass, he hit Rohr as he came out of the backfield and went down and did a little down and out. The ball over the 50, down very close to the 40. It is good enough for a first down, and the Warriors are on the march. 8 minutes remain. Excuse me. In this first half, the Trojans leading here 20-0, but now Caledonia on 2 successive passes are moving again. Now the option given to Conway, runs to the outside, still on his feet. He'll go to the very close to the 35. In fact, he's on the 35. Loose football, but it is blown dead. There to make the tackle for New Prague, Steinhoff. So Conway burst for about 6 on the pitch to the outside. Caledonia, which really all this whole first half, they have moved the ball, but they have been guilty of errors that have been very costly to them. Here again, Otterson on a quick shot up the middle. The ball given to Schreiber, I believe. Schreiber, the ball carrier, has another first down. Got to the 30-yard line, right on the 30. And the Caledonia fans we can hear in the background or underneath us and to the sides of us are coming to life now. Otterson doing a fine job for Caledonia, running the ship. He is the quarterback out of the power eye, the call. And now the fake, and he looks, the rush is on. He has a man out here all alone, and he has it down inside the 20. In fact, the ball very close to the, I'm trying to get the yard marker down here now. It's over the 15, down to the 13-yard line, and Otterson is threading the needle. And these three passes, these people have been open. Now, I don't know if the Trojan defense secondary is lax or what, but this man was open, and Otterson threw it right in his hands. It was a good catch, though. And it is a first down for Caledonia. Now they break out, going to pro set. Wide receivers on the right side. Straight back, Otterson. Looks, fires, has a man after. Good diving catch. It is caught on the sidelines. Pick up that number. That is Johnson. And Caledonia now with a fine mix-up of plays. And Otterson going to the air, moving Caledonia close to the end zone. The ball down inside the 10 on about the 6-yard line. Second down and 5. Gain on the play 5 yards. Clock is stopped as he went out of bounds. 6:38 remain in the half. Again, now they'll break out of the power eye into the pro set. Here's the call. Straight back, Otterson looks, the rush is on, and Tom Cromie got a hold of him and held him up. And now we have a flag. Oh, check that. It is, I thought, looking through this glass here, it was the official's cap as he's going to mark the ball. Check that. That was Wahlberg who came in on that play. Cromie on the other side. And a big loss for Caledonia, and that'll bring it back. The ball now down on, I'm going to look here, the ball on the 15-yard line. Big loss in the play. And now Caledonia decides to take a timeout. They want to talk things over, it appears, from here. Proshek over on the sidelines. And Caledonia very close to going in that time for a score. They were really on the march. Head coach Felix Percoco talking with his quarterback, Otterson, and now Otterson comes back out on the field. It'll bring up third down, long yardage for Caledonia as they will have to go, it appears to here, to about the 3-yard line for the first down, and they're out on their 15, so they have a long ways to go for the first down. Third down, out of the power eye once again. Here's Otterson. On the call, the rollout, the pitch goes to Conway, keeps the ball, cuts in the inside, goes over the 10 down to about the 8. Where he's built it over there. Proshek over there, along with 60 Lucas to make that stop. Kadovic also there for New Prague. So now fourth down. The ball on the 8-yard line where it'll be fourth and about 6 yards to go for Caledonia. Big play for Caledonia as they need this score to stay in this ball game. The Trojans leading here at Austin in this championship game, 20-0. 5:50 remain on the clock in the first half. Here's Otterson on the call. And I've given a Schreiber, finds some running room, goes over to 5. He'll be very close to the first down. Very close. A lot of daylight there in the hole that Schreiber hit. And now they're going to bring in the chain. That's how close it is. They're down right in front of the uprights, middle of the field on the north end. To our left. And the chain gang will come in now. Big play. This is very important to Caledonia. Because if they lose the ball here on downs, it could take a lot of zip out of them as the Trojans could grind this clock out. It is a first down for Caledonia. Now it's first and goal, and we're going to mark the ball on the 3-yard line. We can't tell really from here. It's a ways away from us. But it looked like first and goal from the 3 for the Warriors. Out of the huddle. Again, they'll go into the eye. Here is Otterson on the call. First man through. Schreiber goes, has a touchdown, I believe. He does have a touchdown. Schreiber on the quick opener. Paul Jurek was there, but he couldn't hold him, and Schreiber got in for the score. So Caledonia gets on the board, and the players come off the bench. They were a little bit dormant there as the Trojans were running the show for most of that first half, but now they got on the board, and they'll go for 2 points. Conway flanked to the left. They go into the pro set. Here's the call by Otterson. The ball given to Schreiber, and I don't believe he made it. He did not. He's short underneath Conley to make that tackle, so they'll stop the clock. The 2-point try is not good, and we have a timeout on the field with the score. The Trojans 20 and the Caledonia Warriors 6. We'll pause for this message. I guess we're not going to pause for a message. We just have the clock stopped here as the Indians will kick off now with just over 5, about 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the half. The Indians that time, beautiful play patterns as Otterson, the quarterback, did a fine job of hitting his receivers. They had one real good catch, and the other times they're just wide open. So it'll be interesting if Otterson can keep this up. He can move these people all over the field. They don't have to be very big to catch the football. And he's doing a fine job. He's tall enough. He can look the situation over. Here is the boot by Beardmore. It is a line drive kick. It's going to be picked off by Stevens at the 10. Goes to the 20, 25. Finds some running room. Goes to daylight. He's at the 50, the 40, the 30. He's going to run this baby back to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Stevens all the way for his third touchdown. Beautiful run back by Stevens. They can call him. There is a lot of controversy to Harold Stevens as you hear chalk talk and all this other things that the public wants to talk about. They use a little hot dog here or there. He's just super. I don't care if you love him or like him. He's super. And whether he goes anywhere after he gets out of this school, I don't know. But all I know is he's been a real treat for the Trojan fans, as he can do it all. And I mean that in every way. So trying for the point after here is Todd Proshek. 26-6 now, 5:13. That play took about 12 seconds. Here's a snap. The place is down. The kick is up. It is good right through. Toddy Proshek puts another one on the board, and the Trojans quickly, after Caledonia had worked hard to get that score, the Trojans just came back and broke it all. And with 5:13 remaining, the score, the Trojans 27, Caledonia 6. We'll have a word from Bill Kyer.
You could see the blocking setting up there, though, Riley, couldn't you, on that last kickoff run back? The wedge was right in about the 40-yard line, and all Stevens had to do was follow that blocking, and when he got in the open, there was nobody going to catch him.
Well, this is another thing you have to understand, that Stevens will wait for his interference. Now, he just kind of runs in a place for just a minute, and then when he finds things set up, he goes, and this is indicative of a natural athlete.
I think in the last 3 years of us broadcasting a game, I think that's the first run back of a kickoff, as I recall, in the last 3 seasons.
You might be right, Don. I'm not certain of that, but I know if we have more than that, I can't recollect it, so this could very well be.
It was a beautiful run back, though. We got to give credit where credit is due.
So now Stevens, once again, will kick off for the Trojans. The Warriors have Conway and Rohr back deep. Another beautiful kick. It's going to be picked off by Rohr at the 10-yard line. He runs straight up the pipe, and then he belted once, twice, and finally knocked off his feet, got down close to the 30-yard line. In fact, he is over the 30 at about 31. Where now the clock has 5 minutes remaining, and this half lasting now. It appeared the time was running pretty quick. Or the play, the clock running, so to speak. But now the last few downs that Caledonia took in, they threw the ball and caught it and went out of bounds, so they stopped the clock. So we have a 1st and 10 for Caledonia. Here is the ball given to, I believe, Conway out of the power eye. Check that Schieber, their other back, 25, and he picks up good yardage. He goes over the 40, but there is a flag and a clip indicated against Caledonia. And that pretty run by Schieber is going to be called back. They're talking to Proshek now. And there isn't any doubt that he's going to take the penalty, as he picked up about 12 yards as a quick shot off the right side of his offensive line, got a good hole, and then did a little work by himself. The ball brought back, going to be spotted at the 27-yard line.
This Caledonia team showing us they can move the football if they want to. They've been tough on the ground, and when he mixes those pass plays in there, he can throw it.
Yes, they're very sudden, and I think the Trojans are realizing that right now, that these people move off the ball real well. They really, they're not big, but they're quick. If they can stand the bruising, they could be in this ball game yet. Here's another handoff given to Schieber, and he doesn't get anything this time as the fake by Otterson. And right there, Jeff Jurek also in on the play, Lucas for New Prague. I think the Trojans now are getting ever more pass conscious as Otterson really came to the party that last time Caledonia had the football, and he's got him thinking back there now because he's proven that he can throw this football on target. Again, out of the power eye, now they'll shift. Here's the call by Otterson, and loose football, and I believe that he got the ball back as he broke from center a little early and didn't have a grip on the ball, however, came back, picked it up, and has it. No gain on the play. Jeff Jurek right there, one of the defensive tackles to make sure that if Otterson did get the football, he wasn't going anywhere. Brings up third down and a ton for Caledonia. They need about 20 yards for the first down. 3:20 remaining in the half. We're at Austin. Excellent facilities. The Trojans well represented. They have the stands on the far side of the field almost filled. 3/4 for sure. Here's Otterson. Dropping straight back, looking, has time. Now has a man out here intended for Conway. And it is intercepted and then dropped. Well, actually didn't even have a hand on it. Steinhoff was there, and Caledonia very unhappy as they feel as though Conway was interfered with. The ball thrown right on target, I might say, too, and Steinhoff there. It was thrown high, and Steinhoff had time to get back, cover Conway. So it goes as an incomplete pass. Bringing up fourth down, a punting situation for Caledonia with 3 minutes remaining in the half at Austin. The Trojans leading 27-6. The ball resting on the 26-yard line, and it'll Stevens back in single safety just beyond the 50-yard line. Here's the kick. Good spiral kick. Stevens going to take it at his own 46. Does a little thing and still on his feet, and now the Warriors crunch him down. Good pursuit on that kick by Caledonia, and Stevens wasn't allowed to go anywhere. In on the tackle, number 65, that's Ranzenberger, Larry Ranzenberger. He's one of the bigger people, 6'2" and 180-pounder. And he was helped out by anonymous number 62. We just have to try and find out who he is at halftime. So the Trojans have an excellent field position. The ball at their own 48-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 out of the check that the wishbone. Here's the call. The option kept by Proshik, got some yardage, got over the 50, down close to Caledonia's 47. Pick up on the play of about 6 yards. Make it 5, 2nd down and 5 for New Prague. As the clock winding its way down, 2:30 on it now in the half. So the Trojans break out. They send Schenecker wide to the right, Steinhoff in tight on the left side, the wishbone, and Proshik with the call. The handoff given us Conley, and there's a flag. 2 flags. 2 flags on the play. Motion penalty against New Prague indicated, as Conley might have broke early. So we'll have to wait and see. They're talking to Otterson now, the captain. Conley got very little, got a couple yards is all, so we'll have to wait and see. And now Caledonia will take the penalty. So it'll bring the ball back very close to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, right on the original line of scrimmage, where it'll be 2nd down and 10 for New Prague. The ball short of the 50-yard line now at the 48 of the Trojans. Proshik barks the signal. Here's the call. Drops straight back. Again has time. Stays in the pocket. Runs up. Gets away. And out he goes to the outside. Does a little thing. He's going to be chased by number 21. He goes for a good yard. He's still on his feet. And Proshik turned it on. Got over the 40, over the 35, and down where I would guess to be the 32 or 3-yard line. Good play by Proshik. On the pass attempt, he couldn't find anybody open down there as Caledonia covered and then decided to run it. It was almost snagged by the jersey at the line of scrimmage, then got away. Was chased very hard by Otterson, and Otterson couldn't catch up to him. So now the ball rests on the 33, 1st and 10 New Prague as the clock is stopped with 1 minute and 48 seconds. Here's the call by Proshik. Again, he drops back, looks, firing over the middle, and it's knocked down. There's the flag. The ball intended, again, a little play action intended for Conley. and a holding penalty assessed against New Prague. Another costly penalty, and the penalties are keeping the Trojans from getting down close to the end zone. Again, they'll talk with Otterson as to what they would do, and I don't believe there's any doubt it'll be 15 yards bumped off against them. And there goes the march by the linesman, and it brings the ball back to the 47-yard line of Caledonia, where the Trojans will have it. First and a whole bunch. First and about 25 or 6 yards. Back first and 25 would be right. Here's the call out of the slot by Proshik. He rolls on the option, fires it out. He has Conley all alone at the 40, 35, 30, 25, and he's going to be belted down very close to the 20-yard line. Good fake by Proshik. And Conley came out of the backfield on a little delay, did a down and out, and Proshik, who does this so well, has done it for so long a time, threw the ball right in Conley's hands. Good play by the Trojans. Good enough for the first down, and now with a minute and 40 remaining in the half, the Trojans are getting close to the goal line. Once again, the ball on the 21-yard line where Conley was knocked out of bounds. The Trojans have it first and 10. They lead in this ball game 27-6. We're in the first half at Austin. Here's the call by Proshik. Drops straight back once again. Has time, and now he decides to run with the football and then slips and goes down. Proshik had an awful lot of time. He flooded the area with receivers. However, Caledonia just fell off the ball, and they stabilized that very well. And Proshik, I believe we'll have to see where they mark it. He lost about 2 yards, as he had one man to contend with out there, and he tried to give him a little bit of savvy with his body and slipped. The ground is frozen, and it's in good condition for this time of the year. We have to accept the fact that this is November in Minnesota, and the ground frozen, but not real slick, and Proshik just couldn't get both feet underneath him. Minute and 30 seconds now remain in the half. Second down, 12 yards to go for the first down for New Prague. As we've had a little timeout on the field, and Felix Percoco, the head coach, who has done a fine job for Caledonia, has brought them to this championship, has a talk with Otterson. Now he sends him back, and the Trojans are ready to go. They'll come out of the wishbone, go into the pro set. Even slotted to the right. Again on the rollout. Here's Proshik looking. Now he's looking, fires a pass into the end zone, and Jennifer Shinniker intercepted in the end zone. And he manages to get out as Shinniker rode him. Shinniker almost had him in the end zone. That was number 33 who intercepted that ball. That is Ogdahl, Phil Ogdahl. And Proshik didn't get a good pass off that time. I think he wanted to run more than pass, and at the last second decided he had Shinniker out there and threw kind of off the wrong foot, if you have you.
That looked like a pass from an ex-Viking. One of those lame duck type.
Didn't have a lot of zing on it, and the Indians, or the Warriors, I should say, of Caledonia picked it off, and now they have it with a minute and 11 deep, about on their own 2-yard line. Here's a handoff, given to Schreiber. Bucks and grinds his way out close to the 5-yard line, making probably the 4. Steinhoff there underneath the heap. Lucas and Paul Jurek there also. Very little yardage, and I think Caledonia will be very satisfied right now to hang on to the football and go in at halftime and try to rearrange the furniture. Here is Otterson, over center, on the call. He gives to his running back Conway, and he slipped. Kohotic got a hand on him over there as he tried to go to the left side. He got close to the 5-yard line. There are 25 seconds, time enough for probably one more play in this half. And I don't think Caledonia in any big hurry because they're not going anywhere in this half. And now the Trojans want to have a word with their coach, head coach John Bush, who has got the Trojans back to defending their state Class B championship here in Austin. And we really had a toughie last week up at Painesville. It appeared in the waning moments of the game that there was no way we could come out of the ball game. The Mahnomen people had us where they wanted us, and then they coughed up the football. We got it, and by virtue of the good Lord and a whole bunch of things, we got in the end zone and won that ball game 14-12. Also, we have to keep in mind at Paynesville that we gave Mahnomen a couple touchdowns early in the game, which was kind of a giveaway thing, really. And we were fortunate to come out the victor. So we are here at Austin defending our title against the Caledonia Warriors. Now there's time back on the field again, or the players are back out of the huddle. Time will not start until the play has been called. Here's Otterson on the call. The ball given to running back Conway. Goes to the right side, has some yardage, and then he's going to be drilled down. He got over the 10-yard line, out close to the 13. Paul Jurig there, along with Wahlberg and Proshik to make the tackle. And now the clock stopped once again. And something that, well, in fact, it is officials' timeout as they want to measure to see if they do have the first down. It is a first down for Caledonia, and now they'll...
At this point, Raleigh, I'd like to mention that if the New Prague Trojans win, it appears they will now, there will be a rally at the high school at 11:10. Win or lose, there's going to be a rally at the high school in New Prague in the gymnasium at 11:10 on Monday, 11:10.
Very good. Time has run out on the field, and it is halftime. At halftime, and the score, New Prague 27 and Caledonia 6. We'll pause for this message.
Right now, we want to talk to Bill Kyer and get some stats on the first half. Bill?
Well, the stats pretty much go according to what the score is. New Prague pretty well dominated the game. On the rushing yardage, we had 131 yards rushing. And, of course, 54 of those coming on Stevens' long run from scrimmage early in the second quarter. Passing attempts, Proshik was at one time 3 for 3. He had completed the first 3 passes and ended up having the last one intercepted at the goal line for 3 for 4, which is not a bad average for the night. Passes, he had completed 2 for 27 yards each, and then he had 1 for 28 for a total of 82 yards. First down, New Prague had 6 first downs. Penalties, New Prague had 4 penalties for 50 yards, and then of course one of the big plays was a kickoff return by Harold Stevens for 85 yards. Fumbles, New Prague had 2 fumbles and recovered both of them. New Prague had a total of net yards gained in the first half of 209 yards. Stevens had 10 carries for 102 of those for yards. Caledonia, yards rushing, came up with 81 yards on the ground. Passing attempt, they had 4 for 6, 1 being intercepted, for a net yard gain of 63 yards, or a total of 144 yards the first half. First downs, Caledonia had 7 first downs. Penalized, they were penalized 3 times for 20 yards. Punts, they punted once for 33 yards. They had 3 fumbles and lost 2 of them. And of course, one of them was a big fumble on the kickoff when Deutsch recovered it at about the 13-yard line, and New Prague went in for one of their touchdowns. After watching this Caledonia team, they seemed to get off with a slow start, but they proved to us in the second quarter that they can move the football, but both on the ground and in the air if they get the opportunity. The fumbles and the pass interceptions had a lot to do with that first half. New Prague kept them pretty much in the hole the first half, so I look for them to come out in that second half. They're going to have to come out throwing, and what I saw the first half, this quarterback can throw, so I think we're still in for a good ball game.
Okay, we have 14 minutes left in this halftime. The score, New Prague 27 and the Caledonia Warriors 6. This is the Class B championship between Caledonia and New Prague being played tonight at Austin, Minnesota. We're going to go back to the studios of KQDE FM, Waseca, Minnesota, and hear some music during halftime, and we'll be back. Okay, Lynn?
Over in, kick is going to be picked off over here by Conley at about the 25-yard line. Bucks his way, goes over the 30 to the 35, close to the 37, where he's stacked up by the Warriors. 43 on the bottom of that heap. That's Kramer. Well, the Trojans have it on the onset of this second half. And the Trojans with a very substantial lead in this ball game, 27-6. However, it's not over by a long shot. Out of the huddle, the Trojans in the wishbone. Schinicker wide to the left. Steinhoff tight on the right side. Here's the call. Handoff giving a second man through. Stevens goes to the outside. Has some running room at the 50, the 45. Slows up. Conway tries to get him. Hangs on him. And Stevens dives his way over the 40. We'll have to see where they mark it. Ball marked at the 42-yard line. Big gain again for Stevens, and I believe he had 102 yards rushing in the first half on 10 carries, which is very simply mathematically over 10 yards a carry. And now he's gone for big yardage again. That time he plucked off over 20 yards, has the first down into Caledonia territory. Trojans come out again out of the wishbone. They've been picking on that left side of the defensive line. Here's the call. Handoff, second man through. This is Conley. Still on his feet, goes to daylight. And he's going to be hauled down by Otterson. Good effort by Conley as he got down all the way to the 25, beyond the 25 to the 23. Check that, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Big hole, good fake, and a good call by Proshik. And there was very good execution on that play. Conley worked hard for the last 5 yards as he stayed on his feet and carried a couple Caledonia people with him. It is another first down of the Trojans. Initially here are moving very, very rapidly in the first series of downs in the second half. Again, out of the wishbone, here's the call. Second man through. This is Conley once again. Tries to follow his interference. Got beyond the 15, and we just have to await the marking. On the tackle for Caledonia, 63. That is Gut. Pick up on the play 4 yards. Now they tried the right side of the defensive line. Second down and 6 for New Prague. 10:40 remaining, third quarter. At Austin, Trojans out in front here, 27-6. Here's the call by Proshik. Handoff, Stevens, and there's the flag, and he's hauled down. And Bill Kyer just going to have to find out that 62 is he's playing a fine ball game, and I don't have him logged. It is a motion penalty. There was a flag on the play, and the Trojans were guilty of motion. So now they're talking to Otterson once again. Motion penalty declined as Conley probably, or check that, Stevens probably lost a yard on that play. So the Warriors decided not to take it. They'll take the down, the wise choice. And we just found out that number 67 is 62, as listed here. Beardmore, Gary Beardmore. He's the man who kicked off in the second half. Handoff, second man through. Conley finds some running room to the 10, the 5. Struggles his way down close to the 2-yard line. On a quick burst off the right side, left side offensively. First down for Conley as he broke through there. And he's down now where the Trojans will have it. First and goal. The ball on the close between the 2 and 3. We're going to mark it on the 3. First and goal, New Prague. Clock is running, just over 10 minutes remain in this third quarter. And Schinicker is wide to the left, Proshik the quarterback. Here's the call, the handoff given to, I believe, Conley, and didn't quite make it. He was stacked up very close to the goal line. That was a quick shot right up the pipe. And the ball rests now inside the 1. In fact, from our vantage point, it looks like it's on about the half-yard line, where it'll be second and goal now for New Prague. Schinicker out of the huddle, wide to the left. Out of the wishbone. The call by Proshik. The keep, and puts his head down, and he has the touchdown. Scott Proshik goes in the end zone for New Prague so quickly. They hit pay dirt here in the second half as they move the ball in rapid succession here on big chew-offs by Stevens and Conley. A couple penalties halted the thing a little bit. However, they are in the end zone for another score. Now they lead 33-6. And Toddy Proshik will try once again for the point after. Schinicker to hold. Katerlik, snap of the ball. High snap, gets it down. The kick is up. And it is good. And Proshik blew it through there. So with 9:30 remaining, third quarter, And the score, New Prague 34 and Caledonia 6. We'll pause for this message.
Jersey, Guernsey, Holstein, no matter what dairy breed you're trying to improve, your Minnesota Valley Breeder technician can help. Direct semen service from the top sires has earned Minnesota Valley Breeders a good reputation. Why not give your MVBA technician a call and let him show you how the best breeding can give you a good dairy herd and top production? Minnesota Valley Breeders Association, another Trojan sports booster. Say if you have a recipe which uses wine and you'd like to share it, please stop in at Ted's Package Liquor and check the paper this week. They have a wine shrimp dip or spread made with wine. And you'll enjoy shopping at Ted's Package Liquor for the holidays, the most complete packaged wines you'll find in the entire area. Now featuring Schmidt's 12 packs. Cooking with wine. You'll have a lot of fun at Ted's Package Liquor in New Prague, and they deliver too.
All right, back to the action. Here's Stevens' boot. And another good kick again. Caledonia, going to let it go in the end zone. The ball decided he didn't want to, and Rohr was there to watch it. However, it got in, and Stevens was really banging the line drives out there tonight. Got the ball in the end zone, so the Orioles will bring it out, take it 1st and 10 on their own 20. And Don Ferry had mentioned before, we are enclosed in here, and you do not get the reaction at home at all, I'm sure, because we don't get a lot of it. It works the same way for us here. The reaction makes you do different things as you're broadcasting, and it's a little different than we're used to. Here's a quick shot given to Schieber, and he goes absolutely nowhere. Might have lost a half a yard as the Trojans stacked him up. Katerlich, first man to hit him. Also Jeff Jurek there, and Proshik to follow up on the play. So we'll mark a no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10 for the Warriors. We had word at halftime that in the Class AA, Rochester Jarn Marshall out in front of Bloomington Jefferson, 20-7 or 20-6, somewhere in that area. So Marshall leading before halftime. Here's the rollout. Bodderson giving it to Conway, goes to the outside, and then he belted down, and the Trojans really came through and gave him the business. Bob Conway, 5'7", 150 pounds, not very big, and he had to take a little punishment. Stevens, Proshik, Conley, Marvin Deitch, all in that area, and a couple of pretty good shots taken there by Conway. 8:30 remain in the third quarter. The Trojans leading here at Austin, 34-6. The ball resting on the 27, or check that, the 23-yard line. They're down long yardage. Here's Otterson. Look at the rush is on, and then he falls down. A big rush put on there by Wahlberg. Check that, Tom Cromie. Tom Cromie came through there. He really didn't knock Otterson down, but he spoiled anything Otterson had in mind, and then he ended up falling over some people who were down in front of him. So now it brings up 4th down, punting situation for Caledonia. Stevens back at his own 45. And to do the punting, Conway for Caledonia. Here's the snap from center. Good snap. And the kick is away. Good spiral kick. Stevens going to pick it off right at the midfield stripe and juggles the ball momentarily and then goes down at his own 45. Rohr right there to make sure. First man down on the pursuit is number 30. Protect that. Well, now I lost the number as he went into a maze of football players. Is number 82, and there's another one I don't have listed, so kind of embarrassing. Don't have all these numbers. In fact, I noticed the picture in the program that we work out of. It appears as though Caledonia has a lot more people than we have seen. Here's a quick shot given to Stevens on the crossbuck, and he goes over the 45, over the 40, down close to the 39-yard line. Quick shot by Stevens, picks up about 7 yards. Make it 6, 2nd down and 4. New Prague moving again into Caledonia territory by leaps and bounds. Trojans come out. They ran out of the wishbone most of this ball game. Schenecker wide to the left, tight on the right side. Here's the call by Proshik, given to Conley on shot off the left tackle, or the right tackle, I should say, defensively. Got very close to the first down. He's down close to the 35. Mark it on the 36, where it'll be 3rd and a short yard for New Prague. Moving steadily now on the ground against Caledonia. They have picked up all their touchdowns with the exception of the fine pass from Proshek to Steinhoff for their scores. That was a beautiful play. Here's Proshek. On third and short, there's jumping, and Stevens has the first down, cuts to the outside, still on his feet, down to the 30, the 25, the 20, and then he's wrestled out of bounds on the far side of the field. But there is a flag, and it appeared as though Caledonia jumped offside. He might have been drawn. We'll have to wait. Talking now, it is offside against Caledonia, and without a doubt the Trojans will take the play as Stevens got a bunch of yards again. Move that ball on that play that's worked so well. The shot off right tackle where he hits the line of scrimmage and gears himself to the outside, and Stevens doing a fine job of running in daylight and then running once he is more or less contained. Picked up a lot of grudging yards in that area where there has people been around, where people have been around him. So now the Trojans have it, 1st and 10, the ball on the 16-yard line. Proshek, the quarterback, all the way. Here's the handoff, given to Stevens, straight up the pipe on his feet to the 10, still going, and he'll go down close to the 7-yard line. Stevens bowls his way, and that was the crossbuck, right up the pipe, and then he hits to the outside. It is good enough for a first down. He got good yardage, and the Trojans are bursting very suddenly now once they hit the line of scrimmage. Both Conley and Stevens, who've carried the ball, or dominated the ball carrying in this entire ball game. I don't believe, recalling Korea having the ball one time, it might have been intended for him, and it was a fumble, but the Trojans fortunate enough to pick it up. Here is Proshek. 1st and goal now. The handoff to trying to pick up that number. It was Conley with the ball. Got a couple yards. The ball rests now right on the 5. Pick up on that play of about 2 yards.
Okay, we just received a score here. It is Rochester John Marshall 28 and Bloomington Jefferson 7. That's at Parade Stadium in the Class AA. 28-7, Rochester over Bloomington.
Here's the handoff given to Stevens, cuts to the outside. He goes down, and then he's knocked down. He didn't get out of bounds. There to make the tackle, Conway, also in there for Caledonia. Number 62, the man we lost, Beardmore. He was there. Conley, or check that, Stevens picked up what appears to be about 3 yards, where they're down very close now, down on the 2-yard line, where it is 3rd and goal at the 2, and the Trojans on the march. Schenecker wide to the right. Trojans in the wishbone. Here's the call by Proshek. The handoff, first man through Korea, and he dives. He didn't make the touchdown, I don't believe. They're waiting, but he is short of the goal line, very close to the goal line. The ball on the 1. Pick up on the play, 1 yard. He did not get in, so it'll be 4th down now. Big play for New Prague. And what's your guess, Don Perry? Who's going to get the ball?
Well, I think that they're probably going to give it to Korea or Conley on this series.
Here is the call now by Proshek. The handoff, give it to Stevens, cuts to the outside, jumps, and he did not make it. He did not make it. The goal line stand by Caledonia, and they take over on downs, and the fans come to life here as they have held the Trojans. They tried that same play that's worked so effectively, sending Stevens off left tackle, and the Warriors held the goal line stand, so now they'll take over deep in their own territory with the clock running. 4 minutes remain.
Again, that's the nice part of being an announcer. It doesn't cost anything to be wrong.
Right on, Don. Here's the handoff by Otterson. Straight shot up the middle. Schieber with the ball. Got a couple grudging yards out close to the 4-yard line. The ball was down very close to the goal line on about the half-yard line. And Schieber got what appears to, from here, to be about 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 for Caledonia. Otterson brings him out of the power eye. Here's the call on the roll, and the handoff given to Conway. Bucks his way, got over the 5, close to the 7-yard line. Needs to get over the 10, on about the 10.5 for the first down. Ball resting between the 6 and 7. We'll mark at the 7. Another pickup of about 3 yards or 4, and it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Warriors. Big play for them, otherwise they will have to undoubtedly punt the football. They need the 1st down right now. Otterson brings them out. They shift out of the eye. Here's the call. The handoff given to, I believe, Conway, and he gets the 1st down. Conway, it didn't appear from here as though he had the 1st down, but check that. That was Rohr, number 40, the ball carrier. Steve Rohr got the necessary yardage out to the 11. So Caledonia working its way out of the pocket now as they were deep in their own backyard, and they're getting a little air now. Here it's on the rollout. The ball given to Schieber, and he bucks his way to the 15-yard line. Kept in bounds. Conley hit him. Also Proshik. The ball at the 15. Pickup on the play will mark it 5 yards, but the clock becoming ever so important to Caledonia as they're behind the ball game 34-6. And I believe Otterson will have to go to the air if he is going to make a ball game out of this at all. Here's the call. The handoff given to Rohr, goes on the left side and got very little yardage. He swarmed on over there. Lucas on the tackle. Kohotek there. Wahlberg for New Prague. And about a yard gained on the play. 3rd down 4 now for Caledonia. Minute and 50 seconds remain here in the 3rd quarter. The Trojans out in front 34-6. The ball rests now on the 22-yard line. They need to go to the 26. Here is the roll by Otterson. He looks, fires one over the middle, and throwing short. The ball intended for Rohr. And not a real hard rush put on by New Prague. However, Otterson didn't have time to set up like he wanted to, I don't think, and he line drive the ball and hit him short. Stops the clock. Has an incomplete pass with a minute and 35 remaining. 4th down now, and Conway will go back into punt formation. Stevens back in single safety at the midfield stripe for New Prague. High snap from center, however, time is there. End over end kick, going to be fielded by Stevens at the 43-yard line, and a fair catch. And now the Trojans will have it there once again. Outstanding field position, and the Trojans have been fortunate this entire ball game. They've made most of it themselves, but they've had very good field position. They have never been in their own backyard, so to speak. The crowd here, fine crowd on hand, well represented by both teams. Just an ideal football evening for this time of the year, any time of the year really. It's not that cold and it's dry and starlit night. Here's the call by Proshik. He drops back on the rollout, has a lot of time, fires over the middle, and he hits Stevens out on the outside. There is a flag, and we'll just have to wait to see what that is. It appears to be holding. A holding penalty against New Prague. Going to nullify a fine gain, and once again, Stevens came out of the backfield. Went down about 15 yards, cut to the outside. Proshik laid it in his lap. But they're talking to Otterson, and they'll bring that back. That'll be a 15-yarder against New Prague. Will take it back to their own territory. Stepped off now, and it's going to be marked down on the 43-yard line, where the Trojans will have it. 1st and 25. Minute and 22 seconds remain here at Austin in the 3rd quarter of this Class B championship game between Caledonia and New Prague. The Trojans lead 34-6. Have the football 1st and a ton. Here's Proshik out of the wishbone. And the call. He drops back once again. Good protection again. Fires a long pass downfield. Has Steinhoff out here. And he just overthrew him. Steinhoff down to the 27-yard line. Got it on his fingertips, and he had beaten his man again. Conway back there with him. And Proshik led him a little bit too much. He couldn't hang on. Incomplete pass. That would have been another home run, Bill.
Yeah, he had his defensive man beat. If he could have got that pass, he was all green ahead of him.
2nd down. Again for the Trojans, and 25 yards to go for the 1st down. Exactly 1 minute on the clock now in this quarter. Trojans are out of the huddle. Schinicker is wide to the right. Here's the call. Proshik drops back in the pocket, has time, looks downfield, has Steinhoff out here again. He has it at the 35 to the 30 to the 25. Then he's mauled down on the 23-yard line. Good play action pass that time as Steinhoff went out, did a little, he came the long way. He came from the right side of the field and caught the ball, went out of bounds. So with the ball out of bounds and the score to break 34 and Caledonia 6, we'll pause for this message.
Say, maybe you think it's too soon to think about Christmas shopping. Worse than that, you may not have the money. Well, Hartman Hardware has a solution. Christmas layaway, just 10% down, will hold anything in the store until Old St. Nick is ready for delivery. More than just a hardware store, Hartman Our Own Hardware, where you can lay away anything now with just 10% down for Christmas. Hartman Hardware in New Prague.
Proshek on that first play there from the line of scrimmage, the ball at the 23, lost the football and managed to come back and lay on it. It was out of the open there for a little while, and he got it back. No gain on the play, or about a half a yard. Check that, he lost about a half a yard, but we'll leave it at the original line of scrimmage. Second down and 10 for New Prague as the clock is running. Time for probably one more play, 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. Here's Proshek. Out of the wishbone, and the call, handoff, second man through, Conley on his feet, goes over to the 20, bucks his way and curls to about the 18, where he's stacked up in there and on the tackle for Caledonia 65, the first man to hit him, that's Rasenberger, Larry Rasenberger. There are several on the team, he's 6'2 and 180, and then Otterson there also. There is the end of the quarter. So at Caledonia, or check that at Austin, and the score of the New Prague Trojans 34, the Caledonia Warriors 6. We'll pause for this timeout.
Say, be sure to watch for the opening of the all-new Jerry's Fairway just east of New Prague. Notice today that besides the structural steel being up, they were laying the asphalt today for the parking lot and the driveway, and it won't be long until opening day. In the meantime, check this week's paper for the specials and coupon buys at Jerry's. Watch again for the opening of the new Jerry's Fairway in New Prague. The better half for your better half from Galen Jewelry. When you make the move from her present 1/2 carat diamond to a full carat, you'll be doing more than showing her you care twice as much. You'll be giving her the most wanted diamond in the world, and it's a beautiful investment too. Take the half step with Galen Jewelry in New Prague. 34-6 at the end of the third quarter. Here's Raleigh Nash.
All right, the Trojans ready to go here. Proshek has him out with Schinicker wide on the left side. Here's the call. And pitch out goes to Stevens, cuts to the outside, has a blocker in front of him, tries to make the turn, and he'll go sailing out of bounds, and he got drilled by Conway into the cyclone fence. Stevens is down. Well, he gets up. He had a bruised hand. In fact, as the rumor goes, very concerned of whether Stevens would play after last week's ball game. However, all the rumors that had a broken hand, et cetera, amounted to be a bad bruise, but it hasn't affected him so far in his game. He was holding it now as he came off the fence, but he's all right. A lot of lateral movement that time, only a couple yards gained. Second down and 8 now for New Prague. Ball inside the 20, close to the 15. Here's the ball given to Conley. Finds some running room, goes to the 10, down very close to the 5-yard line. Again, to the right side, and we have a flag on the play. The flag dropped late. Now, we'll have to see what the indication is. Personal foul against Caledonia. Flag was dropped in the secondary, and there's a lot of things could have happened. It is a first down for New Prague, first and goal. The ball down beyond the 5 at close to the 2-yard line. In fact, something I wonder, the official hasn't moved the ball at all. I thought there probably would be half the distance to goal from that infraction. However, they leave the ball there. First and goal, the ball closer to the 1-yard line for the Trojans. They come out of the huddle, maintaining the wishbone. Steinhoff tight on the right side. Schinicker out on the other side. And Proshek keeps the ball, has the touchdown. Got Proshek on his second touchdown keeper. And the Trojans rolling up to 40. Now as they're starting to make a rout. I shouldn't say starting. They have dominated the play the entire ball game. At the onset by a couple of Caledonian fractions, they got well, and then from there on, they have taken the game away from them. And they lead right now 40-6 with Todd Proshek in to try the point after. Here's a snap from center. The place is down. The kick is up, and it is good. Right through, and Proshek right on target now since he missed that first kick. But once again, 11:40 remaining in this ball game. And the score, New Prague 41 and Caledonia 6. Now we have a Caledonia man hurt on the field. We have this timeout.
Say, here's a service special on a winter tune-up from Sealand Ford in New Prague. They'll clean the battery and posts, check the battery water level, replace plugs, points, condenser, air filter, PCV valve, and the filter, check the antifreeze, hoses, belts, and tire air pressure, fill the windshield washer reservoir, and check all lights. Change the oil and filter if needed for just $32, the service special during the winter tune-up special at Sealand Ford. And they honor Master Charge, Bank Americard, American Express, Diners Club, and Carte Blanche, no less, at Sealand Ford in New Prague. 41-6 the score, with 11:42 left here in the fourth period. At Austin, the championship Class B game between the New Prague Trojans and the Caledonia Warriors. The last score we had here in Class AA was Rochester John Marshall 28 and Bloomington Jefferson 7. Raleigh?
Okay, the Trojans back on the field, ready to kick off. Stevens will kick once again for New Prague. Single, or check that double. Safety, 2 men deep for Caledonia. 24 in there, I do not have him listed. Replaced number 40, Roar, on the kickoff team. Here's the boot by Stevens, the beauty, going to be picked off at the 7-yard line by number 24, and he's going to take it straight up the field, and he's on the fly, still going, and then he's going to be wrestled down. Good run back out to the 35-yard line before Alvin Smishek, or check that Alvin Chambar. Every time I see that 72, I think of Francis Smishek of a year ago, and the first thing that comes to my mind, however, that's Alvin Chambar, the first man to hit him, and then a host of Trojans in to finish him off. So Caledonia has some air to work with right now as they get out of their backyard. They've been moving the ball most of the time from the 20-yard line or less after the kickoff. And now they're out over the 35. Otterson, who was shaken up on that last play of the Trojans, is back in the game and fires one down the middle, has a man out there, and he drops the ball and almost intercepted by Proshek. Ball intended for Davy Johnson, 83, and he hit the ball up in the air, and Proshek almost had it. Goes an incomplete pass, stops the clock with just over 11 minutes and a few seconds remaining in this game. Beautiful evening, fine crowd represented here by both clubs, and excellent facilities once again. Here's a call by Otterson out of the power eye. And the pitch out, going out here to Conway, almost hit behind the line of scrimmage. Then he's belted down. That was Paul Jurek who came in and knocked him down. Korea had a shot at it behind the line of scrimmage, got shaken up a little. Cromie over there to talk to him. He's all right. A lot of movement to the side again, lateral movement, about a yard gained on the play. Third down. Long yardage for Caledonia. I don't know whether they'll punt if they do not make the first down. I think at this stage of the game they'll use both downs. Remains to be seen. Again, they'll run out of the power eye as Otterson been the quarterback all the way on the rollout. The fake, he has time, fires one over the middle, and Korea thrown right in Korea's hands. He turned and the ball was right there. Ball intended for number 32, who we don't know. I'm sure all these people are listed because there's a bunch of names here, but something that we don't have on this program. And we'll just have to go along with it as it is. However, it was incomplete. Conway is back to punt the football for Caledonia as they're going to try to get it out and hope for a fumble, I would imagine. And now, timeout taken by Caledonia as they want to talk it over. Maybe their head coach, Felix Percoco, wants to do something else, as either that or there's some misalignment that they want to get straightened out. They're going to need all their timeouts if they want to use them.
The last week I was kind of surprised after that squeaker up at Painesville. I went down to the locker room for an interview, and I was kind of surprised that it was really quiet down there. It sounded like the Monoman locker room instead of the New Prague locker room, because here they had won. Everybody's very quiet, but I have an idea that after a second championship, and with many of these guys graduating and the team basically kind of breaking up, this is their last football game, there's going to be kind of a riot down in that locker room tonight.
Yeah, I would imagine, Don, you're right. I think there'll be a little more joy exhibited than there was at Monoman. Here is now they decide upon the football anyway. The kick by Conway, short kick. The Trojans are going to let it bounce. It takes a Caledonia bounce first, and then goes lateral at the 35. It's going to be deadened right there at the 35. You know, going back to the ball game last week, Don, I really think that the Trojans were in a little bit of a state of shock after that ball game. We won, and I'm very happy because by winning. .35. You know, going back to the ball game last week, Don, I really think that the Trojans were in a little bit of a state of shock after that ball game. We won, and I'm very happy because by winning we are here, and right now we have this ball game in our grasp. But I'll bet you any amount of money that you could bet that the Trojans themselves felt there was no way they could pull that ball game out, as the situation was with Caledonia or with Monoman with the football. And here on the first play from the line of scrimmage, out of the wishbone, Conley got the ball, got about a yard, and then he was banged down by the Warriors. But if you recall, and for the fans who, when Monoman picks that football up on about their own 35 or 6 yard line with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and they lead in the ball game, it just looks like the end of the road. However, it was not, and good for us, bad for them. Out of the wishbone, here's Proshik on the call, drops back. Has Steinhoff going out, and now he throws one out here intended for Stevens. Has the ball! Good catch by Stevens at the 37. Takes the ball down to the 33-yard line. Another one of Stevens' super catches. He took that ball in traffic, went up in the air, got it on the fly. He can do it. He can really do it. Good hands, good effort, and a job well done once again by Proshik. So it is a big first down for New Prague, and they're on the romp again as they're out of their own territory into Caledonia. Dirt at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for New Prague. The clock is running. There are 9 minutes remaining in this ball game. The first unit has been in the entirety. Proshik led him all the way. Here's the handoff given to Conley straight up the middle, and there seemed to be a loose football. There is a loose football, the fumble, and Caledonia has it. So the Trojans lost the football. Conley couldn't hang on, and that march stopped abruptly as Caledonia once again gets a hold of it. The Trojans are leading here 41-6, so the game is pretty well wrapped up, or very indicative by the score, but Caledonia's still out here all the way. Here's Otterson, the quarterback. The handoff, second man through, and he got very little yardage on the delay, and Jeff Jurek and Terry Witt now in the ball game put a stop to that. So pick up on the play of a couple yards. Caledonia is not going to get in at the running game. I do not believe right now. I think that the aggressiveness and the animalistic moves of the Trojans have taken a lot of zip out of Caledonia. by this time in this game. Here's a pitch out given to Conway, goes to the outside, then he smashed down. Tom Cromie turned him in, tripped him, and then he really got flipped off over there by Alvin Schaembar. Loss on that play of about 2 yards. Brings it back to the original line of scrimmage where it's 3rd down and long. Clock is running, 7:50. The ball resting on the 30-yard line of Caledonia. Conway comes out now. He's limping a little bit. He's only a 150-pounder. He had to take an awful lot of tough shots in that ball game thus far. Now they'll shift out of the power eye. Here is Otterson, the quarterback, dropping back. And the handoff goes to one of his running backs, I believe. That is Schieber. It is Schieber, and he got a couple yards. And that's all. Stacked up in there by Paul Jurek. So 4th down, long yardage. Stevens back, going to rest out between his own 40 and 45. And Caledonia will have to punt the football as the clock is still running. There are 7 minutes remaining in this game. We're at Austin, the championship of the Class B playoffs, Minnesota high school football. Trojans romping 41-6. Here's a snap from center. The punt, good spiral punt, going to be fielded by Stevens on his own 42 to the 45, straight up the field. Has some interference now, cuts to the outside, still on his feet, and now he slips and goes out of bounds. He was looking for about 10 more yards, and feet just went out from under him as the sidelines are dirt right up to the field, and that is very grainy and being frozen. It is really, I don't know if slippery is a word, but it's very hard, and I guess that could be termed as such.
Well, Raleigh, John Bush just brought in his second unit now, so I guess he feels that this game is wrapped up, and he's going to give the second unit a chance to get into this state high school championship football game.
Yeah, a job well done by Johnny Bush, and the fans over there give that first unit a standing ovation, and they've done it all. 2 years of football, and they've done it all.
Want to remind you, for mass excavating, for crushed rock, or for black dirt, call the company with the experience and the equipment, Miller Construction in New Prague. And it's later than you think, so think snow and make arrangements now for your snow plowing and hauling from Johannes Construction in New Prague. Phone 758-3695. Johannes Construction for snow removal, Miller Construction for mass excavating, crushed rock, or black dirt.
Okay, the second unit led by Tom Vanasek on the first play from the line of scrimmage. Again, they used the wishbone. Bob Tria was the ball carrier, and he got about 5 yards. So it is over the midfield stripe down into Caledonia territory on the 48. 2nd and 5 for New Prague. Here's the call. The ball given on the shot up the middle to Jeff Smith, and he goes to daylight to the 40, the 35, the 30, down to the 25, the 20, and then he's knocked out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Another quick burst on the crossbuck. Given to the fullback out of that wishbone, Jeff Smith. Jeff for New Prague is a junior. He's a fullback, and he's 5'11", 175-pounder. So the Trojan second unit has moving the football. Carpentier is the wide receiver, or the spread in on the right side. Vanasek, the quarterback. Here's the call by Vanasek. Handoff given to Bednar, and he slips when he hit the line of scrimmage. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all, as he was stacked up in there. Otterson got a hold of him, and then he was helped out by 73 for Hoshite for Caledonia. Hoshite, 6 feet, 180-pound junior. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10, as Carpentier will go to the left side now. Tom Vanasek, the quarterback. All the signals. Here's the handoff. Given to Bednar again, and he's spilled around and might have picked up a couple yards. That's about all. As again, Otterson came in from the linebacker spot and slowed him up, and then he was drilled down. So 3rd down, pick up on the play of 2 yards. 3rd down and 8 for New Prague in the waning moments of this ball game. 5 minutes remain, and the clock is running. Tria and Bednar, the running backs, the fullback, and Smith. And here the rush put on the drop back, and being sacked for a big loss is Vanasek, and that was Otterson, who came in and knocked him down again. He blitzed. He came off a stunt and just came in there and knocked him down. So big loss, 4th down and a ton for New Prague, because they have long yardage now, about 3rd and, or check that, 4th and 18. Again, Carpentier will go to the left side. Kinrin to the tight end on the right side. Here's the call by Ivanasik. And a handoff. Given to Smith up the middle, and he's going to be banged down. 51 Dieters, the first man to get to him, and then a host of Warriors came in. Beardmore there to help out. So the Indians will get the ball, or check that the Warriors. I want to call them the Warriors. I guess the Warriors are Indians and something like that, huh, Don?
Well, they got some wet feathers out there right now.
Anyway, Caledonia has the ball on downs, and they'll take over with 3:50 remaining in this game. Some of the fans starting to leave now, as the Trojans have the all but the clock running out, have defended their Class B title and will retain the championship here at Austin. Here's the call by Otterson, and the ball given to his running back Schieber, who has played a real tough game. He's had some tough going. He's not a very big boy either, you know. He's listed at 185, but he doesn't look that big from here. He is going to feel the effects of this ball game for sure, too. Now the defense brings out all of their first unit, and now it's, with the exception of Kohotek, who is in there and is about the only, well, Steinhoff also in there yet. The rest of them are all the second unit. Here's the call by Otterson as he fakes, looks, fires one down here, and it's almost intercepted. Again, intended for number 83, Dave Johnson, and Kohotek almost has it. It was really thrown behind Johnson, and it'll stop the clock now with 2:59 remaining.
I was going to say a minute ago, Raleigh, that with the score 41-6, it's tough to be eloquent.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot left here right now. The fans are pouring out of the stadium. However, we'll have to go through with this thing. And Otterson, I'm surprised that he doesn't loosen out and let a couple go now. Now he's back. Fires one over the middle, and it's picked off this time by Johnson, as he did a post pattern that time, and he got it up good enough for the first down, ridden out of bounds by Roger Schurig. Steinhoff also over there. So Caledonia has the first down. They move the ball down now over the 40 to about the 42, mark it on the 42-yard line, where it is 1st and 10 for the Warriors. Stop the clock, 2:50 remaining. And will not surprise me any if Otterson really rears back and lets this thing go. He appears as though he can throw the ball a long ways. He hasn't really uncorked any yet. He's been throwing mostly 10 or 15 yarders. On the rollout, on the bootleg. Now Otterson keeps the ball, cuts in, and then he's belted down. In on that tackle, Tommy Cromie, who's also played quite a bit tonight with the first unit. He was in there, and he gave Otterson a pretty good going over. And now the head coach, Felix Percoco of Caledonia, is using a lot of his subs, as he has a big shuttle service going there now. 2 or 3 people out of whack. Clock is running. There's somewhat over 2 minutes remaining. The ball on the 47. Caledonia has it second and about 5. Here's the call. The quick shot up the middle, good for the first down. Schieber still going. He plowed right through the middle. Finally, Wayne Bednar knocked him down at the 40-yard line. Good for the first down. And just to satisfy any wounds, Caledonia, without a doubt, would like to stick one in here yet before this thing is over. Clock is stopped now. I don't know for any reason why the clock now it's going, because ball was run. 2 minutes remaining now. Here's the call by Otterson. Again, he fakes, drops back, looks, fires over the middle, has a man there, and it is incomplete, intended for Rohr. Bob Korea there to try to save it, couldn't do it. Goes as an incomplete pass. The ball resting on the New Prague 39-yard line. Caledonia has it. 2nd and 9. Check that, 2nd and 10.
Say, for great service, good food, and fine entertainment Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights at Schumacher's New Prague Hotel with Brian Stern on the guitar Every Friday night they feature Texas ribs and wings and things. Food service Friday and Saturday nights, and they're open until 3 a.m. Saturday night or until 3 a.m. Sunday morning. Weeknights till 9. Stop in and meet John and Nancy Schumacher this weekend at Schumacher's New Prague Hotel in New Prague.
Last play from the line of scrimmage, Otterson let go with a bomb that time intended for Johnson. And he proved right there that he could throw the ball. He threw a perfect spiral pass about 35 yards and just got a little bit overthrown, but it was a beautiful thing to watch as he laid back in the sock and threw it right out there. Third down, long yardage for Caledonia. Now they'll come out of the I, go into the pro set with a slot on the right side. Straight back Otterson, the rush is on. Now he dumps one here, intended for Rohr, has it at the 35. Still on his feet, there's a loose football. And the Trojans, one of the Trojans in the secondary tried to pick it up, lost it. Now we'll have to wait and see who has the football. It is Caledonia football, and I'm a little lost in that. I thought we had the football.
I think we made one of the cardinal sins there, Raleigh. One of the backs tried to pick it up and run with it instead of falling on it and protect the ball because New Prague had it covered until he tried to pick it up.
Well, you have to understand this young man wanted to get on the scoreboard, and I don't blame him a bit. Caledonia has it this time. Otterson keeps the ball, and he grudges his way. That was fourth and short yardage. He did get the first down on the quarterback keep. Down now, moving ever closer to the New Prague goal line. As the Indians are checked that the Warriors now take a timeout. The ball down on about the 24, mark it on the 24-yard line. Clock is stopped with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining. As Otterson, who has been very heroic in this ball game, he's stayed with it the entire game, and he's taken his licks also. And as I mentioned before, there isn't any doubt the Trojans will have a few bumps and bruises, but Caledonia has to feel the effects of the Trojan aggressive defensive attack, as they have built a reputation on being very sound defensively, and they haven't given anybody. Last week, Mahnomen got 12 points off us, and I think, if I recall this year, I don't think anybody has scored any more than that. Does any of you fellas can remember anybody getting more than 12 points against us?
No, I think that Mahnomen was about the tops of 12 points. They only scored in the first 10 games 37 points against New Prague total.
Here on a play-action pass, and Otterson to Johnson, and he just plain dropped it. Beautiful, beautiful move by Otterson, and he threw it right in Johnson's hands down at about the 4-yard line. Johnson couldn't hold it, dropped the ball. There could have been a touchdown right on the play. If it wouldn't have been, it would have been right down on the doorstep. So it'll stop the clock. That play took about 5 seconds. Second down for the Warriors. They'll maintain the power I. This time, Otterson on the rollout, keeps the ball, looks, fires downfield again for Johnson. This time he overthrew him. Trojans, 74 Witt, 72 Schaembauer in there to put a lot of pressure on Otterson. And
Raleigh, I'll say that the scorekeeper or the timekeeper is giving them every benefit. When they started that play, there was 1:22 on the clock, and you'll notice that there's still 1:22 on the clock.
If the scoreboard clock is official, they have gained quite a bit, because the last time they got a first down, they stopped the clock for a period of about 15 seconds that I have no reason to know why. But we're not certain if that's official or not. Here's the pro set in the backfield, and Otterson drops back, looks, pumps, fakes, fires one over the middle, and it is caught by Conway. Ricky Teets tried to pick it off. He looked from here, so he might do it. However, it got through him. Conway has it, a first down on the 1-yard line. Very close to the goal line. So now Caledonia, with once again the clock is stopped again, and it's kind of fun to watch. The official now wants this thing going, so it is running now. And here's the keep by Otterson, dives his way in, has the touchdown. Otterson gets the score on the keep for Caledonia. And that happened with exactly 1 minute left on the clock. Now it appears though Caledonia will line up for a 2-point play again. And they will do just that. As they'll break out of the power eye, go into the pro set. Here's the call by Otterson. Drops back, looks, fires in the end zone for Conway. Intercepted by Kohotek, and that will stop that try. So, with a minute to go here at Austin, and the score, New Prague 41, Caledonia 12. We'll pause for this message.
Here are the inflation fighters from Mahol Motors in New Prague. A 1968 Pontiac Grand Prix. Power steering, power brakes, V8 automatic. Looks and runs great, just $999. Here's a 72 Vega notchback, just $1699. A 70 Nova 4-door, 6-cylinder automatic, $1399. And a 70 Chevy Impala 4-door, V8 power steering, power brakes, real smooth runner for just $999. Your Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile dealer on Highways 13 and 19, just a mile east of New Prague, Mahol Motors.
Okay, we're ready to go out here in the field again. The Warriors will kick off to New Prague. New Prague has Bednar as the deep man, Dietz and Bob Priya back, also as a kind of a triple safety for New Prague. Jeff Smith back on about his own 28-yard line. Here is the kickoff by Caledonia. The boot is a short squib kick. Waiting for it is Dietz. The ball gets by him, and Dietz will fall on it and save it at the 23-yard line. It appeared as though the kicker got his foot under the ball a little too much. He sent it in a real end-over-end fast spin fashion, and then when the ball hit, it eluded Dietz a little bit. However, he managed to lay on it and keep it for New Prague. So they'll have it now with a minute and the clock in motion now, or running, winding its way down. Carpentier, the wide receiver on the left side, out of the wishbone. Tom Banasic, the quarterback. A handoff given to Smith, and he bucks his way for a couple yards, got to the 25, and that's all. As the Warriors were right there in on the tackle. Number 51, Keith Dieters, was the leadoff man on that tackle. Also in there, 65, Ramsenberger. Second down now, probably one more play. 25 seconds remain. Out of the wishbone, Tommy Banasic calls the signal, keeps the ball himself, straight ahead, got a couple yards. And now there's a timeout on the field. Caledonia wants a timeout. I don't know how many, they've used one or two, but they take a timeout with 14 seconds left on the clock. And they hope by some fashion that the Trojans would fumble the ball and they'd get another whack at it offensively. But time consuming is what it's doing right now, and that's the nature of the game. So we just have to wait till they put it back in play. The fans bailing out now. The Trojan rooters on the far side are pretty well up either at the edge of the cyclone fence, which encloses the field, or are moving out to the parking lot. Trojans in the huddle will come back out. Tom Banasic now is the quarterback for New Prague. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 150 pounds. Leading the attack now, he lines him up, has him back in the wishbone. Here's the call to keep by Proshek or check that, Banasic. And now once again, Caledonia will call another timeout. That play took about 5 seconds, 9 seconds on the clock. Trojans move back. The Trojans have their second unit in there. And now on fourth down, most of the first unit comes back in to punt the ball. I believe they will give it a shot as most of the second unit comes out. Back for Caledonia, 40 Roar. Also moving back now, 33 Ogdal. They're both down around their own 42 or 3. Kohoutek back to do the punting. Snap from center, low snap. Kohoutek gets it away, and in over end kick. It's going to be fair caught by Otterson. He cut the ball with a fair catch at his own 44-yard line. And there's 3 seconds on the clock. And now when they get all the players out there, why, this is going to be the last play of this Class B championship at Austin, where the Trojans have once again come up with the big game and overwhelmed Caledonia here. And it was my feeling that the Trojans could handle Caledonia. I'm glad that my feelings were right last week. I thought we could beat them, but I sure didn't think we were going to win at the final stages of that ball game. However, the Trojans came through in the clutch, and they are here winning their second straight. Otterson straight back. This will take the time. Fires one down here. It'll go incomplete, and there's the end of the ball game. None of the Trojans very jubilant now as they come out on the field, and they're just batting one another out around there, and they're very, very happy, and I don't blame them. We have a final score of New Prague 41, Caledonia Warriors 12. Here's Don Perry.
Well, a very exciting game here for the New Prague Trojans, as for the second time in 2 years, in as many years, the New Prague Trojans are the Class B Minnesota state champions. With a look at the final stats, here's Bill Kyer.
Well, again tonight, New Prague kind of overwhelmed the stats again with the on the ground. New Prague came up with 294 yards rushing. They completed 5 out of the 7 passes they thrown for 143 yards, for a total net gain of 437 yards. Stevens was the big man tonight on the rushing. He rushed 17 times for 172 yards. He ran one kickoff back for 85 yards, and with his passing, the receiving, total yards gained by Harold Stevens tonight, 347 yards. Now that's quite a feat for any high school ball player. I don't care in what class he's in. Yards, first downs, New Prague came up with 16 yards, or 16 first downs. Penalties, they were penalized 7 times for 80 yards. They had only punted 1 time in the ball game for 20 yards. Fumbles, New Prague fumbled 4 times and lost it only once on the fumbles. Caledonia, rushing, came up with 123 yards rushing, or 7 for 18 in the passing department for 120 yards. First downs, Caledonia had 12 first downs. They were penalized 3 times for 20 yards. Punts, they punted 4 times for an average of 27 yards. They fumbled 3 times and lost a fumble twice, and one of the fumbles was on that kickoff where New Prague went in early in the second quarter. So in this championship game, 41-12, winning by New Prague. New Prague pretty much overwhelmed the game and coming home with a second championship in 2 years.
Well, they're lining up now out on the far side of the field for the presentation of the trophies. And again, the big gold, Raleigh, for the second time, goes into the trophy case there at New Prague High School.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've been very fortunate. It's really a treat to go out and do these ball games and have the good fortune the last few years of following the football team, the likes of the New Prague Trojans. I said this, and I kind of say it repeatedly. It'll be, in my feelings, a long time. Probably, I don't know if ever in my lifetime I'll see a unit as the likes of that we've seen the last 2 years. And last year we lost an awful lot of good people. It seemed kind of hard to conceive that we could come back and replace them. However, we took off this year where we left off last year, and the holes were filled, and of course the backfield was pretty much veteranized by last season, and they did everything you can sing about the offensive people because they sensationalized the ball game. You just have to go down the line defensively and give the people credit. They didn't allow very few scores all year long, and as a whole, there isn't any more than you can say that they're just super as far as I'm concerned.
Well, there's a very jubilant group of fellows down there on the field now receiving that trophy from the Minnesota State Athletic Association.
Well, I'll say this, that when we get around to football next year, I don't know what we're going to do for an encore after having broadcast 2 state championships for New Prague. The final score, the New Prague Trojans 41 and the Caledonia Warriors 12.